Hello friends and my dear students. Today we are with the third poem from the book Flamingo. The title of the poem is Keeping Quiet. The poet is Pablo Neruda. In this poem the poet gives a message, gives the message of world peace. He finds violence, war, hatred in the world and he tries to establish peace and what each and every individual can do to achieve world peace. Let us know something about the poet first.
Pablo Neruda was born in Parral, Chile. His original name was Ricardo Neptali Reyes Basualto. He took the pen name Pablo Neruda to hide his identity as an author from his family members. He started writing poetry at the tender age of 13. He is a prolific poet, experimenting successfully in different styles like surrealism, historical epics, love poems, as well as political manifestos, and also a prose autobiography. He won the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1971.
Now let us read a few lines from the first page of the poem.
And now we will count to 12, and we will all keep still. For once on the face of the earth, let us not speak in any language. Let us stop for 1 second and not move our arms so much. It would be an exotic moment. Without rush, without engines, we would all be together in a sudden strangeness.
So what does the poet wants to say? We will count to 12 and we will all keep still. So the poet will count up to 12 and the people will try to remain silent. So first requirement for meditation, for self-analysis is to become silent. So why the poet uses the word 12, the number 12? Why not 100? Because 12 is a very convenient number. You can find 12 hours in a clock. You will find 12 months in a year. So 12 is a very convenient number. So till he counts 12, he hopes that all the audience, all the readers will become silent. Silence is the first requirement to achieve the state of trance or meditation for self-analysis. So when everybody not only silent physically but mentally. So in the next few lines he says, for once on the face of the earth, let us not speak any language. So don't talk. He asks people not to talk. Don't use any language. So language, as you know, is a mode of communication. But now, don't use language, don't talk. Because language or communication, instead of leading to understanding, it is creating misunderstanding in the world. So first step, don't use language. Second, don't move. Don't move your arms. Physical stillness is required for meditation. Here arms can have another meaning. Arms mean don't use your power, your weapons. Okay. It would be, so what will happen when everybody, each and everybody in the world becomes silent and they try to meditate? It will be an exotic, strange and beautiful moment. Exotic means very strange, very unique, something very novel and beautiful. So without rush, without engines, so just imagine, there is no movement, there is no rush of engines, vehicles on the roads. Some kind of lockdown you have seen in the recent times due to the spread of COVID-19 virus. You have seen lockdowns all over the world. So this is the situation the poet had imagined. What you see now in the recent times. So what will happen? People will get closer. When you don't go out, when you don't move, when you sit silently with your family members, you will become closer and closer to them. Some closeness, sudden and strange closeness will be established. Now let us read the next few lines from the poem.
Fisherman in the cold sea would not harm whales, and the man gathering salt would not look at his hot hands. Those who prepare green wars with gas, wars with fire, victory with no survivors, would put on clean clothes and walk about with their brothers in the shade doing nothing.
The poet now suggests a couple of things. First, the fishermen in the cold sea won't harm the whales. The fishermen using their harpoon won't kill whales. Okay, this is so violent an act, such a violent act it is. So they will stop killing whales. Second thing, the people engaged in gathering salt, harming their own body. They are doing their work, but in the process they are doing harm to themselves. So they will stop doing this gathering of salt and they will look at their hot hands. Next thing the poet talks about is the war, devastating war that is going on at some place or other on the face of earth. What kind of wars? Green wars. He is talking about green wars. We can interpret this as war against nature. We are destroying nature, we are destroying the balance of nature due to our developmental activities, industrial activities. Second thing is wars with gas, chemical warfare, using of chemicals that will ultimately harm the nature and ourselves. Wars with fire, use of firearms, victory with no survivors. So you can see green wars, wars with gas, wars with fire, and what is the consequence? There is a war, and somebody will win, and the other party will lose. One party will win, and the other party, opponent, will lose. But what is the value of victory here? Victory with no survivors. So this is such kind of a war where one party wins, but the victory, the winning is meaningless because there will be no survivor. In the coming years, if a third world war takes place, the victorious will see a destroyed earth. The victorious ruler will find nobody to rule over. So instead of doing this, let us stop this. Let us stop all these things. And what we will do, we will put clean clothes. We will establish peace. Clean clothes refers to peace. And walked about with their brothers. So we will become friends with our friends, family members. We will walk in peace. In this shade, doing nothing. So let us for some time stop doing any kind of work. So all the activities leading to hatred, separation, misunderstanding, ultimately to war, we should stop for a while. Not for permanently, but for a while. So let us read the next few lines from the poem.
What I want should not be confused with total inactivity. Life is what it is about. I want no truck with death. If we were not so single-minded about keeping our lives moving and for once could do nothing.
Well, when the poet is talking about stopping all kind of activities, people may misunderstand him that he is talking about total inactivity. But the poet clarifies that he is against total inactivity because total inactivity is nothing but death. So every living being, every civilization, society continues his work, activities, but with a mission, with a thought behind it. Life is what it is about. So life is about activities. We should continue with activities. I want no truck with death. He doesn't want any relationship with death. His poem doesn't talk about death. It is talking about life. It is meaningful and fruitful life. If we were not so single-minded about keeping our lives moving, so we are doing our work in a single-minded way, without thinking around, without thinking back, without thinking forward. So he advocates circumspection or introspection, both the things. Introspection means looking inwards. In simple terms, introspection will refer to self-analysis. So we should analyze ourselves and for once could do nothing. So first remain silent, try to meditate. In meditation you will be able to do a better self-analysis, and a better self-analysis will lead to better action. So he is advocating meditation, silence and introspection to establish peace. So let us read the last few lines from the poem and try to grasp the deeper meaning the poet wants to present here.
Perhaps a huge silence might interrupt this sadness, of never understanding ourselves and of threatening ourselves with death. Perhaps the earth can teach us as when everything seems dead and later proves to be alive. Now I will count up to 12 and you keep quiet and I will go.
Yes, a huge silence will lead to better understanding. This meditation, this introspection or self-analysis will lead to a better understanding of ourselves. We will understand ourselves, we will understand our neighbors. There will be mutual understanding between ourselves. So this will lead to peace, understanding, removal of hatred might interrupt this sadness. So this understanding will remove the hatred leading to sadness, war, competition. All these things will be removed when we try to understand ourselves as well as others. Mutual understanding will lead to removal of hatred and war in the world, from the world. And threatening ourselves with death. This hatred, this jealousy, hatred, envy, these competition, fierce competition, all these things are leading to war and death. So the poet advocates introspection. Perhaps the art can teach us. The art can teach a lesson to us. So we should not be demoralized. When we see destruction, we should not be demoralized. We should not lose hope. We should keep our hope alive. Because the earth, we can get inspiration from the earth. How? As the earth, we can see there has been destruction, extinction of animals, plants, then recreation of new plants, new animals. Phase after phase, cycle after cycle, this has happened on earth. One species has been extinct, another species has got birth. So we should not lose hope. So after destruction, we should keep our hope alive and we can recreate, rebuild this world. Now I will count up to 12 and finally he will be assured. When he will be assured, he will leave. When he is assured that his message is conveyed, when the poet's message is conveyed to the reader, he will count up to 12. He will count up to 12 means he wants to be assured that the poet is successful to convey his message to the reader. When he is assured, he will stop writing the poem or stop telling us the poem. So ultimately, how we can summarize this poem? First thing, the poet is devastated by the wars, the destruction of wars. So he wants to spread the message of peace. How? World peace can be established? If each and every person realizes what he is doing and what he should do, this he can achieve by introspection, self-analysis. So for introspection, he has to meditate. And to meditate, he has to remain silent. So keeping quiet, self-introspection, understanding ourselves and understanding others this mutual understanding will lead to removal of hatred and ultimately it will obliterate any war from the face of earth. This is the message the poet wants to give.